Hi, good morning. This is saima1shaikh's. I am making this video on Thursday, October the 13th. It's 8:18 a.m. And this morning, for some reason, I'm thinking of Ronald Reagan. I don't know why. Maybe it could be because the poor guy was an actor. Then he was President of the United States of America. Then he had Alzheimer and forgot most of the things he did, good or bad, acting or non-related things. I don't know why I'm thinking of him. But anyhow, that's done. But that's not what this video is about. This video is actually about how to make bread. Wholesome, homemade bread. Which is what the intention of this video was. But unfortunately, it wasn't my luck to make homemade, wholesome, fresh bread in the oven without yeast or baking soda. I tried my best. It didn't work out. I started making the bread last week. Perhaps it was, I don't know, the first few days of October 1st. It took me a long time to get the right ingredients in it, or not the right ingredients, I guess, given by the results of it. I had to put whole wheat flour in a pan, then put a little bit of salt in it, that little bit of oil in it. Then I had to put water, and by mistake, instead of using cold water, I think I used kind of warm water, or it was like warm plus a little hot water, so it kind of started breaking the dough. But that's fine. I was still able to make my wholesome homemade bread. So then I kneaded the flour with my hands. Then I left it on the counter for 10 to 15 minutes, as the recipe said. Then I put it in the oven. No, I didn't put it in the oven. Then I put it in the fridge because I got tired of making all this effort of making the bread. And then what happened? Then I fell asleep. Then I got up later in the evening, kneaded the flour more, put it in the fridge, and left it there overnight. So now we're on to the second day of my bread making continues. Then what happened? Yes, then I put the bread in those little, those little pans that you use to put bread dough in. And then I decided to bake it in the oven. So then I turned the oven on, set it up to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and put the dough and bread and everything in it the way it should have been in the little pans and stuff, grease the bottoms. And then I set the the big stove oven for about 45 minutes, the way it should have been set, according to sort of the recipe that I wasn't following entirely, but I was kind of following it just for the important points, but fine-tuning the details according to my own life. And then what happened? Well, then I did other things around the house, and then went back 45 minutes later, hoping to find at least a fully baked bread, or at least partially baked bread. But with my luck, things were not supposed to be done on time. All I found 45 minutes later, no, 1 day and 45 minutes later, was dough sitting in the bread baking pan in a totally cold oven. So there was no heat in the oven, even though the light was on, and I had set all the right settings, and then it looked like the oven was working, but it wasn't. So that was kind of disappointing. So I got tired of that disappointment, so I actually took all the pans back and put them in the little convection oven, a rotisserie convection oven, you know, the one you can like put it on your counter and bake things that get cooked really well. So then I put these pans in the 3 loaves of bread in the convection oven, the little oven, the one I know that works for sure. Doesn't look like it works, but it does work. I mean, the lights gets on, the heat gets turned on and everything. So, because I'd actually baked something in that oven like a month or two before, so I knew it was working. Whereas the large oven, I hadn't baked anything in it for like, I don't know, for a long time. Let's put it over a year or more. So then what happened? Goodness. Then I realized the convection small oven is too small. So I can't accommodate all 3 bread loaf pans. So I had to actually reduce 3 to 2 pans. So I put that in, set it up for like 35 minutes. I'm about to cry at this point in time, I think. But anyhow, I set it up for 35 minutes just to be cautious because it's a small oven size and I didn't want the bread to be baked like too much and get burned at the top and all those sort of things. So I reduced the little baking time. Well, actually, I'm lying. I put it for 25 minutes instead of 40 minutes, figuring after 25 minutes I'll check, and if it's not ready, I'll, you know, let it sit there a little bit longer. So I did that. And then what happened? Well, 25 minutes later, the bread was not ready. The bottom wasn't cooked, the top wasn't cooked, the middle wasn't even cooked either. But the oven did heat it. Okay? So there was hope. So then I gave it another 10 minutes. And then I gave it another 15 minutes. And so it goes on and on and on. But for some bizarre reason, it was kind of getting warmer and cooking, but not really cooking. Like not even like burned from the top and, you know, like raw from the bottom. I guess the convection part of the convection oven was working properly. It was evenly distributing the airflow. So nothing was getting burnt, but nothing was really getting cooked either to be edible. But I persisted. I didn't want it to waste all the, I don't know, almost like 2 days that I've already invested in baking this bread, not to mention the flour, the I don't know, the salt, the water. And at some point in time, I gave up. I actually even put a little bit of yeast in it too, to make sure maybe that will make it rise. But that didn't work either. So by the time I was finished, or at least gave up on it, I think in total I ended up baking this bread for about 3 hours in the convection oven, not the microwave oven, not the large normal electric oven or the gas oven, but actually in the convection oven. And what happened? Well, it kind of looks sort of edible, but not really. But I could have eaten it if I wanted to. Like I kind of put a little fork in it to see if it comes out clean and all that stuff, you know, all the tests people do. But the problem is, I got worried about taking in too much radioactive electricity in my body. Because I thought, well, any bread that kind of sat in the large electric oven uncooked for 45 minutes, plus in the fridge after that for a couple of hours or more while I was ready to give it another go, and then in the convection oven for about 3 hours minimum, on and off, you know, like additional 5 minutes, additional 10 minutes, and additional 15 minutes here and there. That's a lot of electricity that bread has absorbed. So I kind of felt I didn't want to put that much electricity in my body. So I decided not to eat the bread, but I couldn't throw it away because, after all, I'd invested all this time and energy in it. So I let it sit in the little convection oven till I think about what I wanted to do with it. Okay, part 1 of this video is over. I need a break right now. I'll start part 2 later.